Hey guys, so today I'm very excited to talk about a book that I absolutely loved, and that book is The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkowski. I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how I'm just going to pronounce it. So this book, I kind of want to give a very brief synopsis and then just talk about how I feel about it because I absolutely loved this book and it took me by surprise and I'm just so excited to talk about it. So basically, there's a Valorian Empire and then there's the Harani Empire, but they're not really an empire. There's this country of Haran with these wonderful, creative, cultured, beautiful people. And then the Valorians are this like military country. They seek power and land and forces, and that's their whole thing. So they overtake this country years and years prior to this book starting, the Haran, and instead of killing the Harani people, they make the Harani people their slaves. So we start off, Kestrel, she buys a Harani slave. She pretty much buys him because she's attracted to him in some weird way she can't describe. They kind of become friends. It's definitely not a normal slave and master relationship. They talk with each other, they share secrets with each other, and meanwhile we learn that Aaron, the slave, actually is a rebel for the Harani who's working to overthrow the Valorians in an upsurging. So he's getting information from Kestrel. Kestrel doesn't realize that she's giving away, and then it all gets blown up and the Valorians get overtaken by the Harani. Kestrel is completely blindsided and betrayed by Aaron. Aaron cannot stand the thought of Kestrel dying, so he keeps her as his slave. He really doesn't mean it in a captive way. He wants her to be herself and not to like act or be commanded to do certain things, but it's the only way he can protect her from his people now that his people have overthrown the Valorians. So I don't even know where to start with this book because it was so good and so hard to read at the same time because you're seeing it from this perspective of someone who knows everything that's going on. So you see Kestrel growing a liking to Aaron, and Aaron actually truly genuinely growing a liking to Kestrel. But you also see that Aaron is planning on using the information he's gained from Kestrel to overthrow her, I wouldn't call it their country, but overthrow her people and regain back what is supposed to be his. So it was so hard to read because you saw it coming, you knew that Kestrel was going to get hurt, you knew she was going to get betrayed, and she does, and it sucks. But one thing I have to say that I really thought was great to see was how Kestrel slowly realized after she had been taken captive by Aaron when the Harani had overcome the Valorians, she starts to realize that it was really messed up for the Valorians to overtake the Harani in the first place, and she doesn't necessarily want to wreak havoc on all the Harani people. Even as mad as she is at them, she realizes that this is exactly what her people did to the Harani, and she's kind of getting what her people had coming for them. Eventually she does escape to the Empire, the capital, and she talks with the emperor and she says, hey, I have a better idea. Instead of laying siege on the country and draining all their resources and making the Harani eventually succumb to the Valorians again, how about we just call a truce, so to say, basically making the Haran ultimately pay taxes and ultimate tribute to the empire, but let them exist on their own as their own people, able to act freely as they are. And the emperor says, that's insanely wonderful of an idea, but he also can tell that it's a little too good. The Valorians ultimately would most likely hate it because they just want to capture and take everything for theirs. They don't really want peace. That's just not the people they are. So he says, okay, Kestrel, we can do this. The only stipulation is you have to marry my son. But while the Valorians are making the Harani more of a colony and settling this agreement with each other, the Valorian people will be distracted by this wedding that will be publicized with Kestrel and the emperor's son. So that's why the emperor wants Kestrel to marry her son, more as a strategic move on his end so that the entire country doesn't loathe his decision. Everyone can have their freedom and there doesn't have to be bloodshed and war, but then I'm so heartbroken because it means Kestrel can never be with Aaron because she has to marry the emperor's son. So I am just like, what is going to happen? I don't really know. Of course I hope that they end up together, and I really would like that because I love them I love them so much. It's so beautiful. I have a couple things from the book that I wanted just to exclaim about. So one part in the book that was so overwhelmingly like, if I'm gonna cry, it's gonna be now, although I didn't, was when Aaron had taken Kestrel captive, but he says like, I don't own you, and then he says, my soul is yours, you know that it is. All the feelings. I cannot deal with like how much feeling I have with this book. And then the final scene, when Kestrel has come back from the Empire, she's approaching Aaron to talk about this agreement that she's come to with the Emperor about the Harani becoming a colony, etc. She comes through the wall and Aaron sees her, and she has the markings on her forehead that indicate an engaged woman. And my heart was just so broken because Aaron, I could imagine he's feeling like he's going to be seeing Kestrel. I can imagine his excitement and joy to be able to be seeing the woman he loves again. And then he sees her and she just escaped. She went to the Empire and she's coming back engaged. And I can just imagine how like horrifying and sad that is. So something I decided I thought would be fun with this book and for my future book reviews, I love listening to music. I think everybody does, and I have thought it'd be fun to kind of pair a song with a book. So the song that I paired with this book is Poison and Wine by the Civil Wars. If you listen to it and you read the book, I feel like you could really see it as fitting. Everything from the style of it, like the sound of the song is pretty sad and depressing, and the lyrics are incredible and I think apply completely to Aaron and Kestrel. Also, there is like a very a marching drum tone underlying the song, and I think that's very military-like. I can almost picture this song playing in the background as Kestrel is approaching Aaron in the final scene. Like you can hear the army gathering around her, but you can just hear the pain in their relationship and what's happening. And you need to listen to the song Poison and Wine if you love this book, because I think you'll understand exactly what I mean. Please talk to me about your thoughts and your feelings for it, and if you like the song Poison and Wine with it, or if you think there was another song that appropriately fit this book and these characters, because I just think it's really fun to pair songs with books. So it's something I'm going to be doing in the future. But thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to talk about this book with y'all, and happy reading!